Hello, fellow Earthians of Earth. This week's topic is to talk about our least favorite movie. My least favorite movie that I have ever seen would have to be this remake of the movie Yours, Mine, Ours. Not the one with like Lucy in it or anything, but it's the remake, the new version. And it's really, really bad. So basically, for those of you who haven't seen it, there's this guy, and he's like this really strict colonel, captain, sailor person. And so he has these 10 kids, and he's like divorced or his wife died or something, but he's a single dad of these 10 kids, and he's this really strict sailor. And then there's this other lady who's like this really creepy gypsy chick, and she's all like, ooh, I'm so sexy, even though she's really unattractive, and she has like these big Paula Abdul fish lips. It's like, She has 8 kids, and she's all like casual and laid back. She and the guy get married, obviously, and so they have 18 kids, and they move to this big house out in the middle of nowhere so that the whole family can fit. Every scene is the kids getting in a fight and destroying things. And each scene ends with the dad falling into this conveniently placed random pool of goo. One scene, they're at the store buying stuff for their new house, and the kids get in a spontaneous fight and knock over all the shelves, and the dad is like, no, you can't do this, you have to be perfect, and then he falls into this like random pile of green goo that's just in the middle of the store. It's just there in the middle of the store. And so then the next scene, they're coming home and he's still covered in the goo, and he's like, you guys need to behave better, and they're all like, nah. And then they get in another big fight and they destroy like the house or something, and he lands in one of these other magic appearing goo pools. There's a pig. There's this completely unexplained pig that's just hanging out. Nobody knows why. Nobody tells you why the pig is there. Nobody says how he got there or who owns him, or if anyone owns him. It's just like this pig. Just a pig. It's always a bad movie when there's a pig. So never watch a movie where there's a pig in it, okay? Particularly unexplained pigs. Unexplained pigs aren't funny. They really aren't. Just saying, not funny. At some point in the movie, the dad tells them this story about this sailor who's in love with the beautiful lighthouse maiden, and he sails away and says, if you still love me, I will come back and see the lighthouse. But if you don't love me, the lighthouse won't be lit. But if it is, I'll know you still love me. And so he comes back and it's lit and he's all happy and they get married, and that's the end of his little story. Okay, so the very next thing that happens, the very next thing, which seems so unplanned, is that he sails off and goes, screw this, sailing off into the middle of the ocean. So he sails off in the middle of the ocean in his little boat, and he's all like, all determined, and I'm gonna sail away. And then his kids, who suddenly have this other boat and have all the know-how to sail a boat, go sailing after him. They're like, Daddy, we love you. And it starts raining, and they're like, Daddy, we love you, come back. Let's be a happy family. And so then he turns around and sees the lighthouse is on, and he's like, my beautiful lighthouse maiden, no. And so then he goes sailing back, and the kids are like, ah! And so then both families, like his family's coming out from the shore, and then her family's coming out, and they start walking towards each other, and then they smooch like right in front of the sunset that just happens to be there, right like next to their faces. And so the movie ends with them like kissing and everything, and it's all, ah! But then the pig comes in, and it's just like, and so, this movie makes me so mad. Just every time I think about it, it's like, don't. No, I don't even want, never. Another thing I hate about this movie is that the whole time they're acting like they're in some sort of spoof or something. Like he always has these dramatic pauses. He's like, and he's like, my beautiful lighthouse maiden. And it's like, for real? Do you think this is a good film? How can I take you seriously when there's a pig in your movie? Okay, so if you don't agree with me and you've seen the movie, leave a comment below because that's cool. And if you don't like the movie, then be my new BFF. But if you do, then Just go away. I don't want to see you. Please subscribe to me and Intense Collab and all the other Intense Collab people and everything. And never, ever, ever watch this movie.